My family means the world to me. I'd do anything for them. Actors are also very temperamental. I feel you feel pressure when you haven't done your best or you're not
Mhm.
equipped to handle it. It all depends. We're very sensitive people. I feel that Breathe would have made a very nice film. I think this medium is all about authenticity and realism.
So, Abhishek, I have to say that the trailer of Breathe looks phenomenal. It's so intense. It keeps you hooked till the very end. We're eagerly waiting for the 10th of July. So, this being your digital debut, what was it that made you take the plunge?
Well, firstly, thank you for those kind words. When Mayank and Vikram, the creators of the show, met me, they just narrated a basic idea of what they were planning. You could say it was like the plot line of sorts. And I really liked that. I thought it had all the requisites for the kind of genre they were attempting to make. And I remember saying yes immediately after that. So it was definitely the story and the screenplay that they had put down and the thoughts that excited me.
And you play a psychiatrist in the film. So, what was the kind of prep that you had to do for your character?
My character, Avinash Sabarwal, is a psychiatrist by profession, but the show isn't about psychiatry. It's his profession, it's a backdrop. It's more of a family drama in that sense, a family thriller. It's the dynamics that happen within a family. They're faced with obviously some very difficult circumstances. So, what kind of prep? There was extensive prep because there was so much material to cover. Mayank, who's our director, his brother-in-law is a psychiatrist. So he was a consultant on the project, and plus we interviewed 3, 4 other psychiatrists because we wanted to try and be as authentic as possible. I think this medium is all about authenticity and realism.
Right.
So we tried our best to be as authentic as possible.
Did you have any references in mind? It being the thriller genre,
No, none, none.
you completely gave into the writing and the
Absolutely, absolutely. There was wonderful writing that they had done. So, from Bhavani Iyer to Vikram Tulli to Arshad Saeed to Mayank, who are all the writers on the project, they did such a fantastic job that half your work is cut out for you.
So, if you're to compare OTT to films, what's the one thing that you found drastically different? Uh,
Nothing. The process is exactly the same. The only difference is, I think, for example, for Breathe into the Shadows, we just shot a lot more
mhm.
because our show is 12 episodes, which are almost an hour long. So, in essence, instead of making a film of what 2.5 to 3 hours, we made about 4 to 5 films instead. So
Right.
it's just that the process goes on for a longer period of time, but everything else is the same. Prince, I think that happens in the writing department.
It
I
delves
think
deeper into the characters and
yes,
stuff.
because you have that kind of time, right? Somebody asked me just before you asked me a very interesting question. They said that, I feel that Breathe would have made a very nice film. But
Right.
I don't know if we could have brought in all the nuances and the plot twists and turns if we had to concise everything from 12 hours to 2.5 hours.
Right.
So that's the challenge. So I think that writing for film and writing for a web series are two complete different disciplines.
Playing such an intense character on screen can sometimes be quite difficult because a lot of actors do say that some parts stay with them even once the filming is over. So, how do you
Sure.
generally go about that?
Yes, I mean, that depends from day to day, actually. There's some days where you're able to switch off from your work and come back home. There's some days when you carry a bit of it back. Actors are also very temperamental. It all depends. We're very sensitive people. So there are a lot of factors that come into play. But by and large, I think most actors are able to leave their work at their workplace and come back home.
Like, has there been any particular scene that you've done, maybe in Breathe, that made a very strong impact on you?
A lot of them, a lot of them. It's a very emotional show as well, As you know, it's the story of a couple whose daughter gets kidnapped, and
Right.
then what all they are made to do to get their daughter back. So obviously, that there's huge emotional upheaval in that. I've always looked upon Breathe not as a thriller, but as a very emotional, show. Keeping that in mind, there's a lot of stuff in there that's going to obviously really drain you. So there are many instances that a lot of the scenes, because being emotional in nature, have got the better of you.
Could you relate with your character in Breathe?
Absolutely, absolutely. But kind of on some level, that's kind of your job as well, right? And sometimes it's not necessary for an actor to relate to the character they're playing.
Hmm.
I've done many characters that I don't relate to at all because I've never met people like that. I mean, for example, if you see, I made a film about 6 years ago called Happy New Year, in which I played a character called Nandu Bide. And I mean, I never met a guy like Nandu Bide. I don't know of anybody like Nandu Bide. So, it's your job. You have to
Right.
play a role, so you have to play a role. Sometimes you relate to them because there's some commonality. Sometimes you don't, but you still have to do your job to the best of your ability.
Okay, so saying that, to what extent would you go for a loved one?
Do whatever it takes. My family means the world to me. I'd do anything for them.
So, while the first season of Breathe got an amazing response,
Almost 50% of the audience came from overseas.
right?
Yeah.
So, do you feel a sort of pressure that you need to, be able to connect with everybody out there, or the story needs to be understood by everyone, or it should make an impact?
I don't think you feel the pressure. I feel you feel the responsibility. I think they're two separate things. I feel you feel pressure when you haven't done your best or you're not equipped to handle it. That's when the pressure kicks in. I think you feel responsible when you realize that, look, there's a very loyal fan base to Breathe, domestically and internationally, and you have to live up to the expectations. But we've done our best. I'm very proud of the work we've done. I think, like I said, I think as far as the writing is concerned, it's been absolutely brilliant. The verdict on the show we'll come to know in a couple of days. But we've given it our best shot. So I don't think we have any reason to feel pressure. But we definitely have to be very responsible towards the product.
Also, Abhishek, I have to ask you that, having such amazing artists at home, did you discuss the show, take opinions on scripts and stuff?
No, I don't think we take opinions on scripts because everybody realizes and appreciates that it's a very personal experience and it's something that you have to do. So there's really no point getting anybody else's opinion. It's what do you feel? But you do discuss your work and the results of it, of course.
And in the current scenario with the lockdown, it's very difficult to stay sane. Is there anything in particular that you're doing to stay away from all the negativity?
No, I've had a wonderful time. I'm getting time to spend with my family, with my loved ones, both my parents, my wife, my daughter, my sister, my nephew, niece. We're all under the same roof. It's wonderful to have the family together. It's great to have my loved near ones together and who are all healthy. I can't ask for anything else.
While we're obviously eagerly waiting to see Breathe Into the Shadows, what are the other current shows that you are binge watching during this time?
Well, I haven't currently had the chance to because I've been so busy with Breathe. I haven't really had a chance to watch much of the content that's been put out. I did initially, but then the post production of Breathe kind of took over. So it's day and night we're just breathing.
I'm sure you'll take a breath away.
I hope so.
All right. Thank you, Abhishek. It was
my
lovely
pleasure.
speaking to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this. Take care. Be safe.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.